There's a kind of magic to making memories, to finding time for the little things and the big things, the new things, and the things you'll do over and over again. It's the magic of a job well done and a well-deserved day of rest, of living life to the fullest with the people you'd never want to live without. Fareway, closed on Sunday, open for life.
Iowa Fireworks Farm is Iowa's largest fireworks store. 6,000 square feet of hand-picked fireworks, over 50 brands, and 1,300 different products to choose from. But they're also family-owned and operated. Iowa Fireworks Farm is the one stop you need to make before July 4th. You'll find them just south of the Metro. Take I-35 to exit 43 at New Virginia. Head east and look for the Big Red Barn. At Iowa Fireworks Farm, the toughest part will be deciding what not to buy.
Eric Church Free the Machine Tour. Live at Wells Fargo Arena, Saturday, September 27th. One epic night of music that you won't want to miss with special guest Marcus King Band. Get tickets now at highvtix.com. His new album, Evangeline vs. the Machine, is out now. For more, visit ericchurch.com.
Two guys, two Chris's, one network. Iowa Everywhere. It's time for Two Guys with Chris Williams and Chris Hassel. Presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery from the Channel Seed Studios. Where? Everywhere. Live and always on demand at Iowa Everywhere.
These Eric Church commercials just get me all fired up.
When I think about you, I think about 17.
No, that's Gary Allen.
His new album is really good. I love how it just flows from one song to the next.
It's like a story. It's like the last Eminem album.
The last Eminem album. Wow. You know, I think that came out, was it last summer?
It was when you were here.
We listened to it a bunch, and I haven't listened to a single one of those songs since.
I saved 2 or 3 of them on my rap playlist, but other than that, yeah. There's not a lot of people that just listen to albums straight through anymore, are there?
Y'all tried to cancel me. How'd that go, bitch? It's basically the Eminem album.
That Eminem?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what week it is? It's Casey's Center.
It's June 30th.
It's Casey's Center tomorrow. We're moving over to
the new
Casey's.
name becomes official tomorrow?
Yeah, I got the ribbon cutting. I'm going to do a live show there. Well, not live. We're going to record a show with the guys down at
Are they going to be handing out the pizzas?
Iowa Event Center. Casey's Pizza, I think, is going to be slinging around there.
All right.
They're going to give us a tour of the new convenience store inside the Casey's.
Oh,
so you can
cool.
just stop in there whenever you want, any time of day, to go to the Casey's convenience store?
So you know that south entrance where those big stairs that go up? It's going to be right at the top of that. So the south entrance, you walk up, there'll be a Casey's right there. But you got to go to a show. You got to go to an event.
Oh.
Well, this is the first. I'm on the YouTube feed. SC Cy. Good morning, gents. I just enjoyed a yummy glass of colonoscopy prep. My insides are completely flowing out like the damn Missouri River.
That's Kyle.
So this guy is diarrhea-ing right now as he watches the program.
That's our buddy Kyle.
Williams, have you had a colonoscopy yet?
Yeah, I had one 5 years ago.
Was that before or after your colon blow experience?
That was before, because after it was when the doctor told me to take the meds.
Jesus.
I probably need another one after that
whole
ordeal.
You should get it going again. I mean, you've got the tea flowing through you now. Let's just check to see the damage that you've done.
I told you the Mexican fishing boat story too when we were out on the ocean a few weeks ago.
Disgusting.
That was top 3 worst moments of my life. Welcome to the show. We are presented as always by our friends at Fareway Meat and Grocery. We are live today from the Channel Seed Studios. It's a holiday week.
That's right. 4th of July is on a Friday.
I feel like a lot of people probably took this week off. Don't you?
Yeah, my wife was saying her week is pretty slow because a lot of people are gone.
I've noticed that on my behalf. Just a lot of nobody can do meetings, that type of thing. That's okay.
We're still working. We're still doing our shows
still
like
grinding,
normal.
baby.
I'm going into work later on today like normal.
A week from tomorrow, I'm leaving for Big 12 Media Days. Season is here.
And where are you going again? Texas?
Dallas this year, yeah.
Wait a second. So you're going to Big 12 Media Days and Big 10 Media Days? You're hitting them both?
I'm hitting them both this year, yeah.
That just snapped into my brain. That's great.
Yep.
Wow, you're a worker bee.
Well, I've never been to Big 10 Media Days, but it's out in Vegas, and I'm going to go out there and do some shows from Circa.
What are these conferences doing? It's July.
Yeah,
let's send you down to Texas. Oh, we're not going to Texas. We'll do you one better. We're going to Vegas in the middle of July. So you go from 100 degrees and 100% humidity in Texas to 125 degrees and no humidity in Vegas.
I'm going down there though because I'm gonna make sure this Tony Petiti is a real person.
Yeah, do you think he'll even have a press conference?
I'm gonna put his ass on the record.
Honestly, I could not picture him right now.
That's the only reason I'm going. I'm gonna go and bum around. I'm not staying it's like a 4-day thing. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you got all these teams now.
Yeah, I don't.
You can't fit them all in.
Well, they don't say anything anyways. That's the thing. We're gonna do this
for the most part.
Manning camp. We're gonna,
Manning
last
camp.
week. Well, where the Iowa and Iowa State quarterbacks are, I hate
what the hell does that have to do with media days?
Hear me out, because the majority of these off-season stories are nothing but fluff.
Well, that's obvious.
I'm just, I'm letting you guys peek behind the curtain.
And now we don't get our Big 12 preseason media
Yeah,
poll either.
Of course, these quarterbacks looked good at the Manning camp. Have you ever heard anyone from the Manning camp be like, man, that guy really looked like shit? He sucks. They really need to find a replacement for that guy. Most of this stuff is just media driven anyways. So, but I like the media days though. I really do. Otherwise I wouldn't spend the money to go to them. But you do get a lot of good off the record stuff that can help you pass along to your audience, like insights. That's why I go. And I've specifically with the Big 12, I get more out of just the hotel lobby.
That's where the beer is.
And you just sit there and you just develop relationships. And I've been there for 20 years now, right? So I know a lot of people in the Big 12, and it's very beneficial. But I'm going to go down to the Big 10 in Vegas. So Maddie Van Winks will be with me. We're going to do some shows from Circa. That's the week that you are in Italy.
Wait, Van Wilk is going with you to Vegas or to Dallas?
To Vegas. He's going with me to Vegas. And then Dr. Min will be there. We'll do some Big 10 stuff for that.
Great.
Yeah, we're going to do a show from inside the stadium swim with our shirts off in the
Woo!
pool. So that's
I'm going to get Iowa Everywhere tattooed on my chest.
You're not really going to do a show from outside in Vegas in July.
I doubt they put us there. That would be really bad.
Because I have been to Vegas in July.
I was there last year. It was brutal. But most of those places, though, are pretty equipped for the heat. It doesn't surprise them. You can sit outside at most of those places and with misters and all that crap. It's not bad. Although, as we have learned, the situation with computers overheating and stuff is not anything to joke around with.
Yeah. What a finish to the Murph and Andy patio tour, though.
Oh, it was great. That was
Big
a fun
Grove.
day.
I had serious FOMO. It's really not FOMO, it's NOMO. Because I know and I knew that I'd be missing out. I didn't have a fear of missing out because I knew I was going to miss out. It's NOMO.
We all look really good in that picture.
What the hell is Van Wolk doing bringing his snot-nosed kid into the picture with all these Iowa Everywhere employees?
That's Lindley.
I
Get her the hell out of there.
He asked me,
I did.
and I said, she's part of the family.
No, she's not.
You're goddamn right she is.
No, she's not. She's not. She doesn't work for us.
Matt, your children are always welcome. It's an open door policy here.
That was
in
the
Iowa
best part of
everywhere.
that was the best part of the patio tour. You could bring the family out, enjoy a nice day on the patio in central Iowa at these fine establishments.
I'm just wondering about this guy who's on the shitter right now. Like, is it coming out right now?
Williams, why do you always crouch over in pictures? I've noticed that about you. You like to
You know why I did it there? Because I was being yelled at to be short.
what? By
I
We can
believe it
still
was Andy.
fails?
Andy grabbed my, because I originally in this photo was between this God's honest truth. I was between Keith and Scott, and I was told
Between Keith and Scott.
we need
okay.
more people in the front. Williams and Andy grabbed my arm really aggressively. I have bruises, and he's like, "Get your ass over there, and you need to crouch down." I'm not kidding.
How is Keith almost the same height as Andy in this picture? Is he standing on a step stool? Look, Andy is like 5 inches taller than Keith.
Well,
Andy-
and that Eric Herman, when we get him in any of these photos, it
Yeah,
just
he's like
skews everything.
He's a legit 6'5", 6'6", right? I mean, he's
Like 9 feet tall. He's like Yao Ming.
Well, I'm glad you guys had fun. That was that was a blast. I hope that the fellas do it again. I wish there was something that they could do in the wintertime. Like, do you do like a
Well, we can do some stuff. We need to do what I want.
Like a
I've had on
speakeasy
our
tour.
agenda, but we have to just
Inside.
do it. We need live shows. We need to go. I want to take our shows to like little theaters around the state, like a two guys. We need to go to Dubuque. That's where we need to go.
Yeah, we need to settle this Dubuque thing. We apparently had some hate coming our way from our
Bloom had an
Dubuque take.
event there this weekend. Did you hear the show with me and Bloom yet, Chris?
Yeah, and he was blaming that shit on me. That wasn't on me. You brought that whole thing on. You're the one that read
Well,
the article.
I stuck up
and
for you.
Look,
I think that those people are sensitive because you're a Muscatoon guy, though, and they just assume.
Look, Dubuque is way better than Muscatine. Muscatine sucks. You have to be able to say that about your hometown. This
My
guy that
hometown's
grew up in
great.
Dubuque,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Dubuque is it has to be a top 5 Iowa city. Has to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. And again, like I want to make sure that people know we're not shitting on Dubuque. We're just saying, is it really the greatest town in America?
Is it the place to be this summer? No. I mean, if you're confined to Iowa, sure. But throughout the entire country? Was it country or world?
The entire universe.
The hemisphere?
There's no better place to go than Dubuque. Speaking of hometowns, ironic, or I don't know if it's ironic. I don't even know what that word means.
I'll be the judge of this.
We got.
I'm very good on the word ironic and what
No,
it means.
it's not ironic. It was coincidental. Coincidental.
There you go. That's
were
most of the time when somebody says it's ironic, it's just coincidental.
We were talking about the mental health place in my hometown
The mental health place?
where my grandpa was the warden.
Oh yeah, the warden of the insane asylum where you.
And we were talking about how it's probably haunted, and I was explaining this like 2 weeks ago on the
Yeah.
show. There's a blog on Facebook. It's called Forgotten Iowa: Lost and Abandoned Places of Iowa's Past. And they featured the Clarinda Mental Health Institute last week. So my phone starts blowing up with these.
Is this place still standing?
Oh yeah. So
This
if you
is
go
it
out
here,
there,
huh?
if you're playing the back nine, you can see
Oh my
it from.
God. This looks like The Shining.
Well, that right there is the prison. That's not
Oh.
even it.
Wait, that's the academy?
It's all connected. So they put all the mental patients, the troubled youth.
Hang on a second. So you're saying that's what we're looking at right now is the prison. Is the was the
No,
insane
wait a minute.
asylum
That is
in
the
the
mental
prison?
health. That's the Mental Health Institute. I apologize.
Oh, for God's sake!
But
now
no,
you're confusing
here's
me.
it's like this whole like troubled people complex out there. Like I'm not kidding. So if you
So
look back
the
beyond,
prisoners the insane people and the horrible kids were all housed in the same complex?
They're all like connected to one another.
Why are there two different water towers?
Well, because
there's one bad water for the bad people, good water for the good people.
They don't get the same water as we do.
This whole complex is still standing out there?
Yeah, like it is. So if you're out there on like, I think it's hole 13 on, like, you literally are like teeing off and you look to your left and you see this building.
Oh my God.
You tell me that son of a bitch isn't haunted. People were tortured there.
Wow. What did your grandpa used to do to people in that thing?
Well, he didn't do anything to me. He would tell people to do things to me.
Like
He
what?
was the boss.
Like,
I don't know.
Cut off their frontal lobe?
I don't think they were doing that, but like, have you read about like women back in the day who were like postpartum, which is like a known like thing now, like they would just get put in insane asylums back in the day because they acted all cray cray
and never come out. Like, how do you get out of one of those things?
Yeah, you're just done. You just die there. Back in the day. So, Grandpa Williams was there to knock it off. He was there to run a business, run a show.
I would love to. I wish he was still around.
Me too.
To talk to him and ask him like what his day to day was. He'd probably be too afraid to even say it because he would probably get thrown in prison.
Probably.
All the shit they were doing to people back in the 50s.
So
60s.
Again,
Jesus. So you guys. So if you get sent to Clarinda Academy, you graduate from there, and then you go to the insane asylum. And if you cause enough of a problem at the insane asylum, they'll walk you outside right over to the prison where you spend the rest of your days.
Pretty much.
That's efficient. That's an efficient place. I didn't realize it was all one like campus.
And so then when they this is actually really, really sad. I'm not making light of it. When they shut down the mental health place, they just so this was like not that long ago. It's like less than 10 years ago when that building got shut down because the state of Iowa made a ton of cuts to like mental health services or what. I don't know how it worked. But they shut that place down and all of these people are just homeless now. They didn't like transfer them.
They just set them free?
Most of them don't even have like family that like would take care of them. Some of them did like have family to come pick them up and take them somewhere else. So they were just like homeless in our town.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was wild.
And that's why Clarinda is the place to be this summer.
This is the whole point that I was making. It's not that Dubuque sucks. It's that guy doesn't have any credibility calling it the greatest place in the world.
Correct. It's a bridge too far.
Welcome to the show. So this Manning camp. Your guy, Gronowski, I mean, he is the cat's meow at this Manning camp. Everybody's
big
talking
headlines
about
over there.
And again, like I would say this, and I had this on a rundown for last Thursday, and we didn't get to it. So this Dominic Nelson that is transferred to Iowa State, who I think will be a nice player. I don't know, but he was a 25% 3-point shooter last year at Cal Poly. And of course, the headlines now are, he's telling us my shot feels really good. I'm making more threes than ever. Put on 10 pounds. And again, and it's great. Like, this is great. We want access to these players. I was really glad Iowa State gave us access to him. I was like, that's really cool. I thought it would be Momchilovich and Lipsy or, fans want to hear from these newcomers. This is great. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying like that we all need to just recognize a lot of these offseason headlines for what they are.
Well, and Iowa fans do, because it was just 3 years ago when the same exact headlines were being written about Spencer fucking Petras. The headline was, Spencer Petras invited, turns heads at Manning Passing Academy.
And that sounds really big because it's the Mannings, right? Like,
in the article it says, Petrus has one of the better arms in the conference and can spin it with the best in the country. Do not overlook his invitation to the Manning Passing Academy. During his workout sessions, Petrus showed why he was invited to compete with the nation's top quarterbacks. It says, a video post showed Petrus launching a practice pass that traveled 75 yards in the air and landed perfectly in his receiver's hands. And the Manning brothers looked at each other and said, this kid's going places.
Just glad I had that autographed jersey.
So if Iowa fans are a little bit gun-shy about the new headline, which this is from Sean Bach, 24/7 Sports. Iowa quarterback Mark Gronowski has impressed the last couple of days at the Manning Passing Academy, according to CBS's Taylor McCarg, who I think he was a quarterback at Rice about 15 years ago, calls some games for CBS Sports Network. Now, what I'll say here is the context is a little bit different. Like, I don't know who the hell was saying that about Petrus at the Manning Passing Academy. This is actually a national reporter, or a national analyst, I should say. And he singled out two different people. The other one was John Mateer, who was at Washington State and is now at Oklahoma. He said two guys that I actually had a chance to see last season, John Mateer at Washington State, now Oklahoma, and Mark Gronowski, who was at South Dakota State, a national champion, and steps in at Iowa. I thought they both looked really good. Gronowski looked like he put on some good weight and playing at Iowa in that style. I feel like that's going to benefit him. Both of those guys for programs who are hungry for good quarterback talent and places that have struggled with quarterback play lately. I think both those programs have a lot to be excited about. So I'm taking this with a major grain of salt. And honestly, part of me doesn't even want to hear it because of my PTSD with the Petrus shit.
I think Gronowski has a better background than Petrus does. Like,
Gronowski
this seems
is in a
more
different
believable.
ballpark.
Well, because when the Petrus thing came out, it's like we've all seen him.
But yes, we've seen how bad he is at Iowa. And how horrible he is in that
tell
offense.
Me it's raining, man.
And God, I was going back and I was reading some of the articles about Petrus from, this was 2022, 3 years ago, at the Manning Passing Academy. And a lot of the articles referenced Brian Ferentz, who was then heading into what would be his last season at Iowa, or was it second to last? And Petrus kept talking up how those two just work so well together. And it's been a real long, difficult journey to understand the complexities of the offense, but he's finally there. They've got the lingo in place. His mind is in a different place now, and they're really going to take off in this 2022 season. And just to have the hindsight. I mean, we knew it was going to be shit, but it was even worse than we thought it would be.
Nobody's ever been able to answer to me what's so complex about that offense.
Well, I don't know. I think they made everything. I think Brian Ferentz tried to make everything seem like it was really, really, really thoughtful. And I remember there were a couple times Petrus in press conferences or little media powwows, he would start speaking like Brian Ferentz, and it was almost like to try to confuse the reporters and the fans to make it seem like we are doing rocket science here.
Mental
and you
gymnastics.
guys just don't fucking get it. But when you can't translate that on the field against anybody,
the best Iowa
shut the hell up.
quarterback offseason stuff was McNamara. Just please keep telling us we're the worst offense in the country. Come on. Please.
And they were. Man, he hoodwinked all of us, didn't he?
Not me.
You didn't think McNamara would be that bad.
No. I just I didn't know. I didn't. I thought he would be an upgrade.
And he
clearly
wasn't.
was wrong. No.
I mean, the guy didn't even throw with the laces.
But again, it goes back to my we're in that time of year where you just got to take this stuff for what it is. It starts next week. We're gonna get like real reporting, and I'm looking forward to that because then we'll have like a media day like for all these conferences, really up until fall camp, which will be great.
What's up with the headline of this show that Van Wolk wrote? By the way, he
What
put
is the headline?
Becht ahead of Gronowski. It says Becht
Well,
/Gronowski
Becht was a
impress at
camp-
Manning camp.
Becht was a camp counselor there. He's one of the leaders of that program.
Well, I don't see any articles about him.
No, it's because
Impressive.
he's a counselor.
He was with John Gruden. You know,
Who gives a shit?
He's big time in there.
Who isn't at this fucking Manning camp? God damn it. Every goddamn quarterback in the country is at this thing every year.
Our guy is actually
he got an invite to Manning camp this year. That's how you know he's good.
I saw Deuce Hogan was there.
Oh, my
Shut up.
God.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Deuce Hogan was there. Where is he at? Isn't he like
Wasn't
a
he the
walk-on
guy
at
that
Kentucky?
Was he the guy that Ferentz was like, wait, we're going to Nebraska next week. I'll tell you one guy who won't be on the bus over there. It's that backup quarterback we've got.
But again, I feel like I've heard Farron say that about like 6 guys. I don't even know. Well, the best was when Deacon was the quarterback, and you were constantly getting you think this guy sucks? You should see the rest of the people in our room.
Yeah, Joey Labus. And Deuce Hogan is at Nicholls State?
All right. Well, this completely takes the credibility away from the Manning camp, and I don't know if Deuce Hogan's good now. I have no idea. But if the Nicholls State quarterback is in the mix with our guys, then it's just okay. And this takes us into this Big 12 poll thing. I have very strong opinions on this. Very strong opinions to the point where I might do like a 30-minute monologue on the CW pod just about this.
Good. I'd like to hear that.
But like, they ruin these polls when they let everybody vote. Like,
What do you mean by everybody? Like, who all was voting in this Big 12 media poll?
At the Big
I wasn't
12,
voting.
Anybody who attends media days gets a vote. So like Kyle, who's taking a shit right now watching the show because he's colonoscopy prep, watching on YouTube. If he had a credential, he could fill out his ballot while he's diarrheaing, getting ready for his colonoscopy, watching 2 guys on Iowa everywhere. Okay? Like, the problem is not the polls. The problem is how we do the polls, and that we're trying to do it the way we did in 1990 when this whole thing has changed. And to you sensitive-ass Big 12 media members, I see you crying. They don't think much of us. The team that you picked 16th won last year. The pick that you team first got like 16th, okay? Like, you're not that good at it. And I don't even blame you because it's really freaking hard to do it now. With all the transfers, we don't know anything. The programs are secretive about everything. It's a really difficult job, but you didn't exactly knock it out of the park last year. Right? So it's like we got all sorts of problems with these polls. The Big 12 says we're not going to do it now. You got sensitive media guys. Here we go.
You know, I like to reference the preseason polls. I like to have them.
Yeah, completely agree.
So I hope that someone still does one, even if the Big 12 doesn't sanction it. Who are the Gauchos? Is that Texas Tech or something?
It looks like they're trying to. I got an email yesterday, and they've picked like what they perceive to be the like most insider people from all the schools, like 2 for each school, and then a cup. Mm-hmm. And that they are like they have a spreadsheet.
Well, if you've got a spreadsheet, then you've got
a spreadsheet. So like there's going to be like 5 people try and do this would be my guess.
Okay.
But we'll see which one. Like the Big Ten has that de facto one.
Right. So the Big Ten doesn't do it either. And has the Big Ten ever done it? I don't remember the Big Ten ever having a real poll.
They did because I remember when this happened. That Cleveland newspaper.
Yeah, that's the one that does it. It's the one that we always reference.
And it's better than if the league would do it. Because the league can't just be like, we want you, and you to vote. Like, again, like most of the people who go to these media days it's not even their full-time job. Like, I know that's hard for you to believe, but there's just not that many full-time jobs covering these teams anymore. Like, it's the whole industry's been blown up. So you've got a lot of these, like, fan bloggers, podcasts, which is fine. I think they should have access. I'm not saying don't give it to them. But you get very biased polling that way. Like, I can't put any faith in it like I could in 2005 where, like when you were doing TV, you get think about how much more time you had to cover a team in 2010 when you were a TV reporter compared to now, or if you're at the Des Moines Register, when your newsroom was 3 times bigger than it is now, right? And now you're just being pulled in a million different directions. You can't really cover these teams the way you want.
Right. I just think it'll be good to have it as a reference point. You don't need to, it doesn't need to be the be-all. Well, they're picked first. Clearly, they're the best team in the league. No, just as a reference point. And I think it's just interesting because the Big 12 is such a crapshoot with all these teams. 8.5 is the highest win total for any team. 5.5 is the lowest win total for any team.
That was what I was going to go long on today.
Oh, you're going long on the win totals? And that's the other thing, Williams. It's a new age. We have the Vegas win totals, which is close to a preseason poll.
Let's do that real quick. Can I go long on this?
Sure,
I'd like to go long on this.
It's time to go long with Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Your one-stop shop, folks, for all things financial. They're simplifying finances for you. My buddies over at Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax. Beautiful location over at the Prairie Trail neighborhood in Ankeny. So I'm going to go long on Arizona State here, but you led me into this. So the Big 12 win totals are fascinating because the top team, I think there are like 3 of them, which is 8.5. The worst team in the league is 5.5. So you have a 3-win differential between number 1 and number 16. That's incredible.
It really is.
Right?
Do we have reference for the number one, the top and bottom in any other conference, like Big Ten, SEC, ACC?
I didn't go that far. I probably should.
Van Wolt, could you look that up? I'd love to know because I know in the Big Ten and the SEC there are double-digit win totals.
By the way, I pulled this graphic real quick, and BYU's win total went down a game with the Jake Retzloff news yesterday. Did you guys see that?
So
they're now
out,
at 6.5. Yeah, he's leaving BYU.
Mm-hmm.
So yes. Reportedly leaving because he was going to be suspended 7 games for violating the honor code.
Yes.
And that's more than half the season. Now, interestingly enough, this is not ironic. This is a coincidence. He would have been eligible to come back to play against Iowa State. But okay. I got to imagine that they had a good idea that this was coming.
Probably.
And that he was not going to be coming back.
They're spending so much money right now, BYU across the board. I'd be shocked if they don't have a guy that they think that they can plug in there.
So they go from 7.5 to 6.5. For reference, Van Wolt in the ACC, Clemson, number 1, 9.5. You go all the way down to Stanford at 3.5. So that is a 6-game gap in the ACC, just a 3-game gap from top to bottom in the Big 12.
It's just so these teams, again, and this goes back to the poll conversation, I mean, I would have had to fill out a bracket. I didn't fill one out last year. Remember that? I said I'm not doing it because I didn't. I probably would have tried this year, but I don't know. There's all these new coaches. I don't know. The one team, this is what I was going to go along on, where I feel like Iowa State and Arizona State, I pretty much know what I'm going to get as far as what they are because of the amount of starters they have back. Iowa State has 14 back, and I think Arizona State's number was 17 starters are coming back. So, to me, that should be their quarterback back. I know you lose Scattaboo. Coach is back, coordinators. This has got to be the preseason number 1 in the Big 12, in my opinion, is Arizona State. If you're just being completely objective with, and again, starters coming back used to be a huge deal. I still think it is. In fact, it might be more important now, especially if you're from a good team, to have your starters come back because you retain guys. They're proven. But if, Texas Tech doesn't have many starters back, but they went out and spent $100 million in the portal. That was hyperbolic, obviously. But you see what I'm saying? Like, we just have to retrain our brains on what any of this offseason stuff means. But that's where I'm going long on. I've been really, really trying to dive deep, and I think Arizona State is my pick to win the league again. And I'm not – it's not shocking to anybody. They won it last year. But quarterback back, coach back, most starters in the league. They deserve it.
Is it most starters in Power Conference football?
Yes.
With 17?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, they're Arizona State has 17, Illinois and Clemson have 16, A&M has 15, and then you have Iowa State at 14. So the Cyclones deserve to be in the Big 12 conversation based on that alone. They were in the game last year. They have 14 starters back. Notably, Iowa has 10 starters back, so that's a lot in 2025 college football. So Iowa has a good chunk of its team back as well.
Yeah, I think Kansas State's going to be pretty good. I mean, Kleiman's a good coach. I have a pretty good idea that Kansas State's going to win anywhere from 7 to 9 games. But outside of that, there's going to be a team that we are not expecting much from that's going to really surprise us. And it might be multiple teams in the Big 12. Don't know who it's going to be.
Completely agree.
If it's going to be Baylor, if it's going to be TCU, who knows? It's going to be like last year. Last year we had, 4 teams that we didn't expect. Arizona State, Colorado was way better than we thought, BYU, and Iowa State.
The one team I would play, and I haven't looked at their schedules, I feel like Houston, I would pick them to outperform with Willie Fritz, just the way that he coaches.
Going over 5.5?
Yeah, they were getting better last year, right? They upset somebody later in the year, I want to say. Like, what about UCF and Frost? Like, I know he's kind of the butt of the joke, but he was pretty successful there.
Frost is back there. You got Rich Rod back in Morgantown. Just crazy. But this is going to be, again, why more than likely the Big 12 is only going to get one team in.
Couldn't agree more.
Because there's a lot more parity in the Big 12 than any other conference. And you have to factor in how nationally we look at the conference. And the talking heads talk about the conference. You're going to need a Big 12 championship matchup between, a 12-0 and an 11-1 or something to that effect to be able to get 2 teams in this year.
Totally agree. Want to thank our friends over at Game Day Men's Health for sponsoring the program the way that they do. The super nice deal last week. I got a text from Bill, who owns Game Day Men's Health in Ankeny and West Des Moines, and the one over in North Liberty as well. And they wanted to give me a birthday gift. Look at this. They gave me an autographed framed Randy Moss jersey.
Did they just pull that right off the wall and give it to you?
No, I think that they put some thought into this because look at that. It's got the photos down there. One of the nicest things anybody's ever done for me. I thought that was just so kind. And they really appreciate all of the Iowa Everywhere viewers and listeners who are going to get healthier with them. And, man, you talk about great partners, Lindsay and Nicole and just all the people I get to see every week when I go in there and, get the tee shot in my ass. Just a really pleasant experience.
Have you guys listened to Legends and Listeners with Scott had Pat Angerer on?
I haven't. Aiden told me that that's an amazing episode, though. I
Really
will listen to it over the holiday here coming up.
Pat Angerer was propping up the tee shots.
Really?
Yep.
I don't know if that guy needs any more tee.
I was going to say.
I'm telling you.
Are you kidding me? Pat Angerer's getting tee shots?
Scott did his read on game day. Scott goes to the one over in eastern Iowa, and Pat's like, oh,
Scott's on the tee.
Fully on board with the tee.
It's
great. My God.
Pretty cool.
So we have something else really cool that we're going to do right now. We're going to start doing this with our friends from Freedom Tires. So we're going to give away some tires, and we're also going to help some nonprofits. Well, not nonprofits, some charities, charitable organization. Matt has all the details here.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
just
shout
do
out
the
to
link.
Quentin and his team at Freedom Tire because we always like to do cool things and helping out the community. And tires can be expensive, so this is a really cool deal, Matt. What do we got going on here?
Yeah, just through the link in the chat. So if you want to check out our website, iowaeverywhere.com, we've got a contest. So we're going to be giving away a set of tires each month throughout the summer. So July, August, and even into September, we're going to give away one lucky winner. You got to enter at iowaeverywhere.com. But the cool part about this is we're paying it forward. Our friends at Freedom Tire are paying it forward. They're going to be able to provide a new set of tires to a nonprofit, charity, community organization that means something to you. So if you need they need a fleet vehicle or they got a car that they drive around, they're going to give them a set of tires too. So
that's awesome.
Nice.
That's really cool. Okay. The iowaeverywhere.com, you can get in on this contest. It's super easy. All you got to do is just go and sign up, and we'll do a drawing. What, Matt, in July?
Yeah, we're going to do at the end of the month, I believe.
End of the month,
so,
okay.
Yeah. Yep, so end of each month. So
awesome.
So you keep entering.
That's a valuable little gift right there, man.
It is.
Very cool.
Hey, can we circle back to the gift you got from Game Day for a second? Was that the best gift you got for your birthday this year?
I think so.
What did your kids get you?
Cammie got me a book.
Okay.
Oh,
sorry, Cammie. The Moss jersey was better than your book.
Elise got me a cool Lego set. We're going to put together a Formula One car.
One of my favorite things about yesterday was going on Twitter and looking at different people wishing you happy birthday with pictures of you being a complete fat ass. Like Josh Betts has this picture of you. You look like the doctored photo of JD Vance again, where they make JD Vance look like he's like 400 pounds. Look at you. You look like you got stung in the face by a slew of hornets. And then there's Carper posted this one of you. You got your belly hanging out over your.
That wasn't
drinking?
That long ago.
Are you drinking white wine?
I don't know what I'm drinking, but that was not that long ago. The problem too is that I'm not shaving my hair, so the hairline's just so far back. That is I remember that night, and we had like a little bit of a reunion of sorts, and you know what it looks like? It looks like I'm doing the Chris Farley van down by the river.
You're standing on top of a Yeti cooler, and you're squatting.
Was that WrestleMania? Did you guys watch WrestleMania?
We were just dancing in the kitchen.
No.
Yeah, no. I wish it was WrestleMania. Wish I could have said that.
Yeah, Ray Cole posted one. You don't look terrible there.
That was post-tee. I think I started the tee.
You had just started on the tee.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Nobody has like a current.
Well, it is.
Unless they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah,
maybe that's going to be my favorite pastime.
Carper was absolutely doing it on purpose.
From now on, every time it's your birthday, I am going to tweet a photo of you as a total fat ass, congratulating you.
It's that hard to
I might even make you shorter every year.
That one of Carper, though, I want to say that he posted, that was right rock bottom. Like, that was, okay, we need to make some changes here.
This one here?
I think so, yeah.
This is, I swear to God, you're drinking like white wine out of a wine glass.
It sure looks like it, doesn't it?
You would put anything and everything into your body except testosterone.
I think at that point, I was just drinking anything I could get my hands on that night. I think it was that part of the night.
Well, happy birthday.
Thanks. Appreciate 41.
Not a lot of people turn their health around when they turn 40. But you've done it.
Or is it the opposite? Because I do think, I get a vibe that like younger people care about their health more than we did when we were 18.
Not me.
You were just an odd duck, but you got all your crazy shit out of the way in high school. Like, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I went to college and just went crazy.
I was at my peak caring about my health when I was in college.
Wow. That's very rare. Like, that doesn't happen.
Right. Yeah, I was the total opposite
Because
of every guy you've ever met.
I went to college and just went nuts.
I had my George Foreman grill in my dorm room with the priests. I had a hot plate, like a burner, that I'd make a bunch of eggs on every night. Like, I wouldn't even go to the cafeteria and eat. I would make all my own food.
See, Matt, what dorm did you go to at Iowa State?
I was in Willow.
Okay, so I was in Friley Hall.
Father Willow.
And we had this brand new thing. It was called the UDCC. That was like this brand new state-of-the-art like cafeteria, and it was all you could eat every meal. So I'm just gorging, and then I would get ice cream after every meal.
What?
Oh, yeah, they had a whole ice cream machine over there.
After every meal, you would get ice cream?
Yeah. Then you're drinking at night.
Oh, my God.
No wonder all these kids are just putting on 20 pounds every time they go to college. There's, it's better food than I was eating at home. No offense, Mom. Oh, I want pizza. I want a steak. Oh, they got cheeseburgers.
We got a big problem. I don't know how it is anymore, but just thinking back to what they would feed us in school, what those college cafeterias were like. I mean, look, this is not a political statement, but remember when Michelle Obama tried to change that?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with that. There was a lot of pushback. I just think we don't need to pull all that shit out, like all the bad shit out. But can we give kids like better options? Teach them a little bit. I don't ever remember having a class that like taught me nutrition when I was a kid.
No. And financial stuff too is the other thing.
Not that all kids care, but man, Jesus. Okay, my two nieces were here over the weekend from Corning.
I was in Corning.
They're 10 and 12. And so we went places. This is actually my triple B. I can get into in just a little bit because I'm going to talk more about that. But I went places I don't normally go. We went to like a gator experience in a zoo. And seeing these families, it was like Iowa State Fair material. Like, I don't know where these people are. I don't see them when I'm walking around Delray.
Well, they don't live in Delray.
Because what I noticed when I moved down here in 2017 is people are in a lot better shape in South Florida at all ages than they were in the Midwest, than they were in the Northeast. A lot of it has to do with the fact that you don't have that winter season where you can just cover your fat ass up if you gain some weight. It is year round. You're showing it.
Oh, and the thongs, they just wear those thongs everywhere.
Yeah. But man, at some of these parks that we went to, maybe I'm just sheltered because I don't go to I don't do stuff like that. I didn't know. I knew it was bad out there. I knew it was bad. The obesity epidemic, especially with kids these days. Holy shit. That's not my triple B, by the way.
Well, on that note, you said the kids from Corning?
Yeah.
I was in Corning over the weekend, went to the Adams County Speedway. That's me and my friend Charlie right there.
Yeah, at Iowa Everywhere Victory Lane.
Yep. So, I'm there milling around, chatting with my old friends.
Mm-hmm.
I got inside information on a Ben McCollum practice.
Oh?
The track announcer.
Yeah?
There at the Adams County Speedway is a Northwest Missouri State guy. And he was telling me, he was pretty pissed off that I was questioning, he thought that I was questioning McCollum's greatness. Because because I was making fun of you guys because, every time one of these Drake players transfers over, you guys freak out. Oh, we're going to win the national championship. No, but the track announcer there, he said I didn't ask why, but at one point he got to participate in a McCullum practice at Northwest Missouri State.
Okay, and what does this announcer look like? Like, how old is he?
He's probably Van Wink's age. He's
Okay.
a good-looking guy.
In shape?
He looks like a Southwest Iowa dirt track announced racing guy.
So you're telling me he looks
Good.
like Van Wilk?
Yeah.
If it was Van Wilk trying to do a Ben McCullum practice.
He told me, he's like, "Oh, it's the real deal, Chris. It's the real deal. Don't you question these practices." He said he was puking up a storm. I said, I'll convey that to the audience.
Good. I'm glad that this wasn't just Cooper Koch blowing smoke. I knew it wasn't. But it's good to hear that this guy, this Van Wilk-looking character, went into practice and puked himself. Puked his brains out.
Shit himself, too.
Is it time for the Triple B? Because I can
Let's do the
continue
Triple B.
my weekend.
Bigger, better, bolder. Built by Kelderman Manufacturing.
Good opportunity for both of us to continue these stories. So, do you want to go first?
Yeah. It's not all me bitching about the obesity epidemic in America. I've had visitors down here a lot over the last several weeks, couple months. I mean, my dad came down, my mom came down, you came down a couple of weeks ago, and now my nieces with my mother-in-law. And specifically with the kids coming down, your kids and my nieces, you do things that you just wouldn't do. Like I've lived down here for 8 years, and I did several things over the weekend that I just never do. Like with you guys, we went out on a boat for the first time in, 5 years. With the nieces, we went on a gator experience on a fan boat. Went to they had a little zoo there.
I've always seen them fan boats. So was that
Yeah, we
cool?
got to see gators in the wild, which I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. I have not seen a gator in the wild in Florida unless I've gone on one of these fan boat experiences in the Everglades. So this is where you drive, 45 minutes inland and do all that. And then yesterday we went to an experience at this, almost a zoo type place. It was a safari. We fed giraffes. We fed flamingos.
There's giraffes in Florida?
Yeah, there were lions, and it's just it's stuff that I would never ever do. Like if it were up to me, I would just be hanging out at my house, and I would venture out maybe like a 10-mile radius from my house, and that's it. But it was a good reminder that there are some experiences that you need to have every once in a while. You get out of your comfort zone a little bit and do some different things, and I did. Now I did let them in the pool.
Chris.
I did let them in the pool. They were splashing around the last
You got
couple
that
of days.
stuff so when somebody pees, it follows them around?
No, they did not pee in the pool.
Are you sure about that?
That is not allowed, and they know it. But they're heading back right
What, do you
now.
pull out the switch if they find out that they peed in the pool?
The switch, the one Adrian Peterson used on his kid.
Yeah. The old Robert Williams MHI.
What?
Well, my
Who's
grandpa
Robert
would
Williams?
pull out on the inmates.
Oh, your grandpa had a different kind of switch. It was a switch to the electric chair that he'd flip, murder those bastards.
No, he wouldn't murder them. They'd just torture them. That's why it's haunted.
But they're heading back right now. They are on the Allegiant flight back to Des Moines, direct from Fort Lauderdale.
My Triple B. So I went dirt racing on Saturday night at one of my favorite places. Corning, Iowa is one of the best. That is the place to be.
Yeah, that's where they're heading back to.
The place. They can go see Iowa everywhere, Victory Lane.
They've never been to the races there. They live in the town. They've never been.
Well, they're missing out. So this wasn't the race I was at, but Van Winks actually spotted this. So, a little background: the track you're about to see is legendary. So,
but this track that's coming up, because I've seen the video, this is not dirt.
No, so this is called Bowman Gray Stadium. NASCAR actually did its exhibition event there this year in like February, and this is one of the true iconic tracks in all of America. You're talking back in the day, Dale Earnhardt's dad, Ralph Earnhardt, would be there, Richard Petty, like the old school NASCAR. Like this is one of the like place where our sport was built, and they still race every Saturday night. But like it's known for like just crazy shit, like always happens here, and this is one of the all-time great racing fights. Video from Flow. Flow covers it. You can watch it if you have a Flow subscription every Saturday night. I do this from time to time. If I'm at home on a Saturday, I'll have it up on one of my TVs. Watch this. This is incredible.
Here we go off the final turn. Staley slows in front of him. Staley gets the win as they wreck across the start-finish line. Madness at the Madhouse.
Emily Lewis takes out Zach Staley. She didn't appreciate that.
Zach Staley was slowing down to interfere with the race finish and aid his son to victory.
They gave the checkered flag to Brad Lewis.
Brad Lewis is now being declared the winner. Oh, the fans are going crazy. It's bird season. Some of them are cheering. Some of them are flipping him off. Here comes Staley. He's out of the car.
Flipping him off.
Here comes on the front stretch. Staley and Emily Lewis are not happy.
Oh, we got some jaw jacking on the start-finish line.
Staley.
Here comes
Zach Staley running across the grass. Zach Staley is running across the infield.
This is like
football
WWE.
field here at Bowman Gray Stadium. He's not happy. He's going after Emily. He gets on
Jesus!
Car, and he jumps on it. Destruction.
My God.
He's ripping the sheet metal off the car.
That's a woman's car.
Fighting. Everybody's on their feet.
She shouldn't
and
have
now they're to the
done
ground.
what she did.
Police have intervened as emotions explode at the Coliseum of Chaos.
They call this the Madhouse for a reason, and you're witnessing it right now. We got headlocks, we got birds, we've got Ric Flair chops. Doesn't matter if it's a female or male, they're at it.
That's my favorite part of it, where he's like, it doesn't matter if you're a female, we're coming after you.
Family
Isn't that great?
feuds.
A driver's a driver, and if you get in my way, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Fans, there are people on the ground. There are people jostling.
This is
Brad
just
Lewis climbs out the winner. Lewis climbs out and celebrates.
I need to go back. I want to watch and see exactly how that like went down.
I can't quite figure it out because
like, there was a dad and a son, and like the dad was slowing down so the son could win, and then they reversed the decision.
And because so many people had the same last name. So it was like Lewis slows down and then Lewis wins.
That's a dangerous thing.
He jumped up and tried to kick through the windshield into that woman's face. He launched himself 10 feet first into the windshield and tried to kick her brains out.
Well, then this other guy, there's another driver that comes running in, and he immediately puts somebody in like a sleeper hold. And then the woman gets out of the car and she gets tackled.
If racing was always like this,
oh my God,
I would be a fan. Like if there was real stuff like this in NASCAR, because they've tried to get rid of that because all the corporate stuff and we can't have it, and I get it. But
remember last year when Ricky Stenhouse just jacked Kyle Busch and knocked him out?
That was great.
The problem is that happens like once every 3 years.
Right?
Like you can't. Yeah.
But man, you've got like a dad and a daughter, and this dad's like trying to protect his daughter out there on these families hate each other.
And
that's
the problem is too. I just know enough about this. These people are driving themselves, like these racers, straight into poverty.
Oh yeah, no, my wife's grandpa was a dirt track guy in Iowa. And he wasn't a racer, but he would provide the car and sponsorships and all that. He spent all of their money, like behind his wife's back. And they ended up dying without any money. Because he kept buying engines for this dirt car.
Yeah, it's an addiction for most of these people, and it's entertainment for people like me. But man, like that's the thing. Like I'm watching these cats that are jumping on windshields and stuff, and we're all laughing. But like that might have been that guy's, the last bit of his Roth IRA that he pulled out there.
Oh my God.
That he's reacting to.
It's the Coliseum of Chaos. They're flipping birds. They're punching women.
Bowman Gray is
Look over there. He's got that kid in the chokehold.
Bowman Gray's a much different deal than where I was at. Like to have one of those asphalt cars that those guys are driving, like that's a big investment. And
to have some other driver come over and destroy it, ripping the sheet metal off the car.
At Bowman Gray Stadium, he's not happy. He's
My
going
God.
after Emily. He gets on Emily.
That son of a bitch. Who do you got?
That's a good one.
That's a very Jeff Kelderman triple B too. Kelderman will love that. Oh God, is that
We're
Brock
so
Purdy?
back. We're so back.
What
You guys
is
seen this? Brock Purdy was in Nashville over the weekend.
Was
Actually,
he
has a
Manning
house
Passing
in
Academy?
Nashville. Did you hear he has a house in Nashville now?
Brock has a house in Nashville?
Yes, he and George Kittle are now neighbors.
Oh,
This was cool. So he's obviously getting ready for training camp. Brock was training with CJ Beathard, former 49er quarterback. So
wait, where's Beathard at now?
I don't know.
Jacksonville.
Isn't it weird
He
how
wasn't
all
ju-
these
well, so here's the
Iowa and
thing.
Iowa State athletes are friends now?
So when CJ Beathard got dealt to Jacksonville, Niners got a comp pick and used it to draft Brock Purdy. Did you guys know that?
No.
I didn't know that's how
I
they
didn't
got
read
that
the
pick,
book on
Matt.
Brock Purdy. Like, you know what?
That's
You should write the Brock Purdy biography.
They got the 7th round comp pick to use in the
Wow.
draft and used it to draft Brock
Good
Purdy. So
stat there, Matt.
Yeah.
Statty Van Winks.
So they're training. They're getting this little CyHawk connection. They had Kittle working out with them too.
Isn't this bizarre though? The Purdy, Kittle. Now we got Beathard. We've got Caitlin Clark and Tyrese Halliburton are like best friends.
It is weird. And
and they're all very relevant too. That's the thing. Like it's not like these like side like we have a tendency in this state to create like, oh, this guy's grandfather was born in Keokuk. No, like you have two of the most relevant basketball players in the entire world. You have, a guy on Facebook who AI is just taking over his life because people just click on his stuff. That Brock Purdy, people just love him. And then Kittle's like turning into this like bar stool, like beer drinking.
Singing with Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah. That happened over the weekend, didn't it?
Yeah, was at tight end U.
Yeah, tight end U because he was with Kelsey, and I guess what is going? Why do they have to always be together? Kelsey and Swift, like what? Can't
It's the off season. This is their time to be.
What
to,
is she
to love
doing
on
at
each
tight
other.
end U? What is he doing at all of her concerts?
They had a benefit concert for that.
At tight end U?
Yeah.
What the hell is tight end U?
Tight end. You don't know what tight end U is?
Is it like the Manning Passing Academy?
Yes, for tight ends.
Yeah, for tight
It
ends.
is. Yeah.
Well, you
I
you
really
should have
don't know
seen
what
Charlie Kolar over there at the tight end U.
Yeah, it was like Greg Olson, Kittle, Kelsey started this tight end university to, there's all these quarterback camps. Why can't the tight ends have a camp?
Good for them.
Yeah.
They need to be fewer of them, though, and just go 5 wide receivers. It'd be much better for all.
Can we try to make a deal that we never talk about anything that transpires at the Manning Passing Academy ever again on this show? Please.
Oh, get ready, brother. It's watch list season. We're going to start getting all those press releases for the watch list.
By the way, we just got a text from our buddy Randy Peterson who wants to do a preseason poll. So
there you go.
Iowa Everywhere official preseason poll.
I will only do it if Keith and Andy do it.
Well, Keith did the picks last year. I think Andy should have to do this for sure. I want to know.
They weren't
I
on
want to
the
know
text.
what Andy Fales thinks about middle of the pack of the Big 12 this year.
They didn't get invited.
Can Andy name every Big 12 school? That's what I'd like to know.
I want to know what Andy thinks about the linebacker situation at Kansas State. Oh, Lucas is giving us some insight here as we wrap up the show.
Yeah.
He's watching on YouTube. He says, Nickel State hosted the Manning camp. That's probably why Deuce Hogan was there. So he got like the participation trophy invite.
What?
Nickel State hosted the Manning.
That's true. Yeah, because that's in Louisiana.
So that's probably why Deuce Hogan was there. So we go back to parents being like, this guy sucks.
I thought I said no more Manning passing camp references.
I would love to go back to all the people at Iowa, like inside the program, who would openly talk back when Deacon Hill was and they would be like, oh, you think this guy sucks? You should see the other guys.
Did you ever buy the Deacon Hill swim trunks?
No, but if I would give anything to have a pair.
I bet they're still available on his NIL store.
Look at this guy who was at the.
Oh wow!
Wait,
that's that guy from Napoleon Dynamite, though.
It's
Uncle
Chad Powers.
Rico.
It's Eli Manning played this Chad Powers character in some kind of spoof, and now they're gonna make a movie out of it or something. That's the guy that was in Top Gun. What's his name? Glenn Powell.
Oh, he's a good-looking man.
I haven't seen F1 yet, but I'm going to.
Oh, you didn't go yet? Okay.
I think we're going to see it next weekend.
I thought about it a lot over the weekend. I couldn't get it out of my head. You know, I really, really enjoyed it. I'm glad I went. I still give it 2 thumbs up. I wish they would have put the love into the screenplay that they did into the visuals. That is all. You know why I say that is it got me thinking about it. There was a movie made in 2001 called Driven. Sylvester Stallone and Burt Reynolds were the leads.
Okay.
And it was about, do you remember Champ Car? Do you remember when Indy had the split? When IndyCar had like 2 different things?
That was a disaster. That was a disaster when IndyCar split.
One of the best sports books I've ever read is called Indy Split, by the way, if you like politics and how egos can just completely ruin something. That's a good book for you. But this movie's about like these Champ Car drivers. And I won't give anything away. Because I thought when I was watching F1, I'm like, I swear I've seen this before. It's the exact same storyline.
No.
From this.
Really?
Pretty much. Yeah, it pretty much is. Obviously not exact, but pretty damn close. But anyways, it's a really good movie. You're going to like it probably. I would guess you
I've
would
heard
like
nothing
it even more than me.
but really good things about it.
It's setting records and stuff. It's going to have it's going to gross I thought it's like 175 million or something like that in the first weekend. So it's clearly really, really good.
It's a great time. I mean, there's no better time for a movie to come out than around 4th of July. I mean, that's when all the big ones would come out when we were kids.
I might go see it again because I want to watch it. I want to watch the video stuff.
Take your notepad in there and write some notes.
Matt,
you know what should do? You should send your notes to that director who's from Iowa.
The guy who
really tell him what you think
to be on the show.
Yeah, so we reached out to, was it Kaczynski, who's from Marshalltown?
Kaczynski, yeah.
And tried to get him on the CW pod, and his handlers, basically what they said was, we don't know who the fuck you are and why you would think that Joseph would come on your show, but he's not going to do that. If you want us to reach out to some of the interns who worked on the project for us, we can, and the intern can come on your show and talk about F1. But Joseph is not at that level.
That didn't really happen, just so we can't get sued. I just
kindly regards, the Kaczynski team. No, I'm just.
Well, what we did learn, because we did try,
they did politely say no.
Yeah,
I
but
think
we
Murph
also
and
learned.
Andy have interviewed that guy on their radio show before.
Oh,
so
of course,
really?
they're a much bigger deal than me.
Well, then why did you have Aiden email him and not have Keith and Andy email him?
Because Aiden produces that show. It's his job.
Apple produced this, so we had to go through Apple's
we had to go.
reps.
That was the thing. You had to go through Apple's people to get to his people.
The handlers.
Yeah, I mean, you realize Apple's like one of the 3 biggest companies in the world. It's
Aiden
not exactly...
is your handler. You got to go through Aiden to get to Williams.
It's not very hard.
What if somebody...
Aiden's like the nicest guy ever.
Somebody sends Iowa Everywhere a direct message and like, hey, I'd like to have Chris Williams talk to my son who's interested in becoming a writer in the business. And Aiden's like, no, he's too busy for that. It's not going to happen. But
fuck off.
We do have an Iowa Everywhere intern that we could throw your way. You just can't talk to the big guy.
We just need to send all those people over to Sipker. So let Scott deal with them.
Spopker. Overthinking today?
Overthinking today. Coming up
Murph
at
and
12.
Andy today?
Coming up at 1.
It is 4th of July week, but I understand that there will be another happy hour.
Yes. Working that out right now. Going to try and do it from a dock, it sounds like.
From a dock?
That's what I heard.
Wow.
Because I'm getting the Elon internet up there to Clear Lake for Keith and Jenny.
I've never been to Clear Lake. Is that Okoboji?
No.
Those are two different things?
Two different things.
Okay. I'm going to get
Clear
shit
Lake's the
from
one
a lot
that's
of
right
people.
off I-35.
And it's not even clear.
Where the hell is Okoboji at?
That's basically up in South Dakota.
Yeah.
So it's like Sioux City area?
Yeah. Yep.
Make sure you stop by the Iowa Fireworks Farm, too, by the way. Pick up your dadgum fireworks.
Wee! Blow some shit up. All right, he's Chris Hassel. My name is Chris Williams. Presented as always by Fareway Meat and Grocery. Matt Van Winkle produces the show, does a great job. We are in the Channel Seed studio. Be sure to check out Overthinking today at 12, Murph and Andy at 1 on Iowa Everywhere.